the unfinished chamber of the Serapeum Colossus, in the missing bowls of the granite precision, in the canticle of the empty sarcophagi, the tolerances that should not be, in the question the basalt asks of every age that enters none, O thou who cut the granite box and set its lid at tolerances, the modern gauge can barely certify, who left no sweat of chisel slip, no error on the page of the polished surface, flat beyond the flatness that the human hand achieves. Serapeum, who Sankara's dark, despond and wonder both, where the visitor believes and disbelieves in the same breath. The vast her 100 tons, the lid's another 30, set in place and fast against the ceiling of the passage, bids defiance to the question, how, who, here, who corridors, baby, could, no bucks. No, baby. Engineered descent into the bedrock, locks of the possible, as the possible was drawn by those who wrote the textbook of the age. Besides the sober flame of the granite, I was made with care beyond your reconstruction. I was cut by something confident and unrecorded. And I am empty, and my history shut. And what I held or never held is hoarded by the silence of the chamber and the empty's booze. The official story, goods, the sacred bulls of Pei-Ta, trust and ceremony, mummified, holes of the baby, no baby, County, and yet, another. Granite. Got them. Something very good.
A few remains that do not and edit.
No, baby, no, baby, no, baby. Just serious. No.
What burial proceeds and defaults?
Or were the boxes never fold the dead? Were they who something else? No. Oh. required? No. Temporary. No. Junk is this.
I am yet.
Junk better. Junk plerkes.
I expire and yet.
Vessel.
I am yet and yet.
The whole world, baby. It's good. Perfect boxing, perfectly. Their function, no, baby.
I am makers not recorded. I read it.
No, baby. How the Egyptians wrote down everything, but this, the method, no, baby. Boxes, then, no, now, is absent from the record, the manual, undescribed technique, the no baby. Country, as if the greatest work was never scribed or scribed, lost, scribed and not revealed, no, baby. Tolerances. No, what is good? No. No, baby. No, baby. No, bankers, baby. No.
With I later am at a age and exits quieter.
Then he came the sheer precision, silencing no modern page, for we can cut this now with diamond, saws with power and with computation. But they with copper and give with dolerite, because the textbook says so cut. Same, cast the lids, place at 20 tons and more in corridors too, narrow for the crane. Or either the textbook misses something, or the boxes. Oh, I question. We retain without an answer. And the question? Humbly, dark, gallery. The tourist walk. Every age that enters with its sums and instruments departs and barely talks. Thus sit the granite boxes in the dark. Thus shine the surfaces no bull has. Pressed, and all the ages leave their questioning mark. Inside their chamber, no, baby. Serapeum static, granite boxes cut the explanation frequency, 100-ton precision, empty vaults. The manual that was never written or never found, SAR-QQRA. The Serapeum discovered by Marriott, 1850. He was looking for the Avenue of Sphinxes. Strabo had described. He found the sand, then sphinx heads in the sand, then the entrance, then the galleries, then the boxes. Burroughs says, Mariette followed a sentence in Strabo, written 18 centuries earlier through the sand, to the buried entrance, which is the correct research methodology. The old text contains the address contains the building, the archaeologist, is the connection between the sentence and the door. Most buried things are buried with their address still legible in some text somewhere, waiting for the reader who takes the sentence literally enough to start digging. The boxes, 24 of them. Take granite, basalt, diorite, the hardest stones available, 70 to 100 tons each. Lids, 15 to 30 tons. Interior surfaces polished flat to tolerances that modern machinists measure and then measure again, because the first measurement seemed wrong. Geisen says, the granite, box polished flat inside to machine tolerances in the hardest stone available, is a message written in the only language that survives every translation. Precision. You can burn the papyrus. You can erase the inscription. The dynasty. But the flatness of the interior surface is a fact. Any age with a straightedge can verify the boxes are the message. We could do this, figure out what that means. Burroughs says, the official story. Copper chisels, dollarite pounders, sand abrasion wooden sledges, and unlimited manpower, the boxes will fly, measured by 20. And
Measured corners are having a disagreement that has lasted since 1850, and the corners have not revised their testimony. Cut here.
daily column box, descending the corridor that barely clears its lid, set in place under the passage ceiling surface, polished past the hand's capacity gallery, holding the precision in the dark RIH column corridor, descending the box that barely clears its ceiling set in place under the passage lid capacity, polished past the hand surface dark, holding the precision in the gallery fold here. The fold is the corner of the box. The fold is the 90 degrees that should not be that exact in that stone. With those tools, the fold is the disagreement. And the measurement which has not been resolved by either party revising its position. The empty anis. Mariette breaks through, expecting the Apis bulls, the sacred bulls of tar, mummified, entombed, intact, finds most boxes empty, lids in place, undisturbed, empty, one intact burial sword fragment, bedding, scattered bones that don't assemble in complete bulls. Burroughs says the sealed box that is empty is the most interesting object in archaeology. The ceiling is intact, the contents are absent, which means either the contents were removed before the ceiling, which raises the question, or the contents were never there, which raises the question, knowledge. What was the box for, or the contents, was something that doesn't leave, remains, which raises the question. What doesn't leave remains and requires 100 tons of granite polished flat to contain it. Jason says, the empty sealed box is the cut-up that archaeology cannot complete. The text is there, the container is there, the content is missing, and every reconstruction of the content says more about the reconstructor than about the document. Interlude. The granite box addresses the visitor. You have brought a flashlight and a theory. Everyone brings a flashlight. And a theory, the flashlight works. Measure my corners. Everyone measures my corners. The corners are the same corners they were for Mariette, for the dynasties, for whoever set my lid. I do not confirm. Theories, I outlast them. I have outlasted. The theory that I held bulls, the theory that I held kings, the theory that I am a granary, the theory that I am a resonator, the theory that I am impossible. I am not impossible. I am here. That is the problem with your theories. They keep concluding,
I am impossible and equipé.
The locusts, the corridors are narrow. The boxes barely clear the walls. The corners require turns. The floor descends. The ceiling is low. Burroughs says moving 100 tons through a corridor that barely clears the load, around corners down a slope, in dark or by lamplight, and then setting a 30-ton lid in a space with no room for the lifting apparatus that the textbook proposes, is an engineering problem that the textbook solves. By not addressing it in detail, the details are where the disagreement lives. The general story works fine, ramps. Sledges, manpower, the specific corridor with the specific box and the specific corner is where the general story goes quiet and the granite waits. Jason says the missing manual is the most significant absence in Egyptology. The Egyptians documented everything bread-making, beer-brewing funerary writes in exhaustive detail on every available surface, and the technique for cutting and moving and placing the largest and most precise objects they made is nowhere. Either it was so common it needed no recording, which the precision argues against, or it was restricted knowledge, which the silence supports, or it was recorded. And the recording is in the part of the record we haven't found or didn't survive or was removed. Each possibility is a different history, and the boxes are compatible with all of them, which is what makes them the perfect unresolved transmission. The alternative theories, lost high technology, predynastic civilization, acoustic levitation, the survivors of the younger dryas, inherited techniques. Burroughs says the alternative theories exist because the official theory has a gap, and gaps attract theories the way vacuums attract air. The alternative theories are not evidence of ancient technology, they are evidence of the gap. Every unexplained precision generates a population of explanations. proportional to the size of the unexplained, the Serapeum boxes, have generated a large population, which tells you the gap is large. It does not tell you which theory fills it. Possibly, none of them do possibly. The filling requires information that is not currently on the table for anyone.
I am not interested in which theory is correct. I am interested in what the boxes do to everyone who enters.
The engineer goes quiet. The archaeologist goes careful. The tourist goes home and thinks about it at odd moments. For years, the boxes transmit a question that installs itself in the receiver and keeps running. How, and the how is connected to the question. What else will we not have? What will constant? And that question is actually constant of this. Not the bulls, not the granite, the permanent installed doubt about the completeness of the official past. The precision, as Message Burroughs says, consider the possibility that the precision is the point. Not a byproduct of function, but the function. A civilization that wants to send a message past its own death cannot trust language, languages die. Cannot trust religion, religions transform. Can trust only the measurable, the corner, that is square, the surface, that is flat, the tolerance, that says to any future with instruments, we were here, and we were more capable than your reconstruction of us. Revise accordingly, Geisen says. The flat surface is the leather, and the flatness is the content, and the address is whoever can measure, which is the same addressing system as the Nazca lines. Whoever can see from altitude and the Dogon ellipses. Whoever can confirm the orbit, the message that specifies its receiver by capability rather than by name, is the message designed to survive the death of all names, including the senders. The Serapeum was just the gallery where a civilization left its most precise objects in its hardest stone with its least explanation, and the combination of maximum precision and minimum explanation is the most durable question ever installed in bedrock. Every age enters with its flashlight and its theory and leaves with its flashlight. The EMT boxes were just the proof that the container can outlast the content, the purpose, the maker, the method, and the entire explanatory framework of every civilization that subsequently enters the gallery, and that a sufficiently precise emptiness is more eloquent than most full archives. Because the archive tells you what happened, and the empty box asks you what you actually know, which is the more durable transmission. The box is still in the gallery. Corners still square. Surface is still flat. Past the hand's capacity. Lids still in place where they were set by the method that was never written or never found. The bull still missing. No from most of the vaults. The manual still absent. No from the most complete. Documentary civilization of the ancient world. Every age still entering with a flashlight and a theory. Every age still leaving, quieter, the granite still, outlasting. The explanations still here. That is the problem. Batteries still. Ho, go, still.
70 years.